Dan Graziano from ESPN's Get Up. Can Deshaun Watson recapture what he had with the Texans, that elite skill with the Browns?
I got to lean toward no, because that greatness was high volume passing, right? He led the league in passing yards in 2020 with the Houston Texans. That's 4 years ago. We haven't seen it. He sat out the next season. He was suspended the season after that for the first 11 games. Last year he got hurt. And when he has played, we haven't seen that kind of production. We know that the offense took off late in the year after he was hurt with Joe Flacco running it. So I think there are a lot of questions still to be answered. In the Cleveland Browns' perfect world, sure, he becomes a quarterback that can carry them to a Super Bowl title. But I don't think they view that as essential. I think they need good, consistent, solid quarterback play from him because they feel like they've built a strong roster around him.
That's fair.
And Sam, I agree with that. They've built a good roster around him. Whenever this topic comes up, I try to think of a quarterback who was elite for 3 years that just kind of lost it, and not due to any major injury. Now he's come back from his shoulder. I can't come up with one. Is there any that come to mind that played and made Pro Bowls, and then all of a sudden, in their mid to late 20s, it just went away?
Yeah, there's certainly not many. There's obviously players that were incredibly good and then injuries hit and they were never the same player again. The closest I could come up with was Mark Bulger back with the Rams. And even that, was kind of like, it was a cumulative effect. It was the weight of the Rams offensive line and the pressure that he was under, and sort of not necessarily any one individual injury, but he just got broken by the sheer volume of pressure that was coming down from that Rams team. But Bulger obviously took over from Kurt Warner, was impressive enough that he effectively forced Kurt Warner out of that starting lineup from the Rams, despite, the story, the greatest show on turf, the Super Bowl, the MVP. Mark Bulger made them move on and give him the keys to that team. And he was really good for a period of time and then declined and just couldn't do it again and did fall off that level. But you're right, it's a very small number, that list of players who hit the kind of heights that Deshaun Watson did, and then it disappeared and never came back again. Certainly without being able to point to, here's one catastrophic injury that guy suffered, and from that point on, they were a different player.
Yeah, so again, if you're Browns fans looking for hope, there's hope, but you get into where you got to start seeing it, on the field.
Yeah, but I think they made a good point on that clip that you showed, that they've almost reached a point now where I think they're almost preparing for the idea that it might not come back. And instead of saying, well, when Deshaun Watson plays at that incredible level, now we're in business, we can contend for a Super Bowl again, they're almost planning as if, okay, what if we never see that player again, but we get a guy that plays reasonably? If we get solid quarterback play, can we build a team around him that can contend with that level of play? That's what the Browns roster looks like right now, is a team that can make the playoffs, that can potentially make noise even when they get there, even without a quarterback playing at an elite level.